Hey everybody, welcome back to Go Local Live here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. Our guest now is Sarah Swift. She's the director of Hera Gallery down in Wakefield. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So tell us a little bit about Hera Gallery.
So we are an artist-run organization. We are a nonprofit. We are located down in Wakefield, Rhode Island in South County. We are actually the 5th oldest women's-run art cooperative in the country, which is really fantastic for the arts and for the nonprofit end of things.
That's fascinating. Can you tell us a little bit about the history? When were you founded?
So back in 1974, a group of about 10 female artists recognized that they weren't getting the recognition. They felt so isolated in South County. They were a stone's throw from New York City. They had networking in New York, and yet being in rural Rhode Island, they really felt that they didn't have a space for themselves where they could explore and transform and create together. And so it took a few years of really hard, dedicated planning. But this group of women came together. They found a space in what is now the Contemporary Theater in Wakefield, Rhode Island, but we're right down the street now. And they had a team. They built this gallery. They opened with a floor show, and it's been a miracle. It's been a miracle that they have been able to sustain this. It's really a testament to the hard work running a nonprofit, and especially a community space that focuses on promoting the artists more than making a profit is really, really fantastic.
Absolutely. And so what kind of artists do you showcase? Is it a group of members, or is it all female artists? Who do you show?
So we show everyone. We range from full members to student members, millennial members. We are run by a board. It's, I believe, 10 women, and our most recent gallery director, who is our first male board member, which is a big excitement. We have been run primarily by women from the start, and it is still run by a fantastic board of women, 3 of whom are founding members of Hera and have stayed through the duration of 45 years. And so it's really, it's a testament to their hard work, the ones that have really dedicated half of their lives to this gallery. And so our 2 consistencies is really being this community space and showing these artists. And so we do 11 exhibitions a year with artist talks, ranging, the art ranges from really modern contemporary stuff to fiber arts to, we cover every range, printmaking, sculpture, installation. We've had performance pieces, so we really try to be all-inclusive, both with the art and with who we work with.
So you show both male and female artists? We
do. That was a switch back, I believe, in the early 90s. As the wave of feminism sort of started to change and grow over time, the need for an inclusivity of the community really became apparent. And I think Hera really started to focus on trying to seek out different groups of people who felt like they weren't being represented.
And so who can join this? Is it all local artists? Do you get local college students, people from outside the state, or is it primarily local?
So it is primarily local. We have, I think our farthest away is in Boston, but she's a student and she comes in regularly into Rhode Island. Many of our members are women in Wakefield who either had heard of Hera and needed a community space to do their work. And we've started recently getting people, from Providence, and we have a member, John Gudula, who's in, Nicaragua a few months a year doing work down there, and he just joined us in the last month or so. And so it's sort of an always fluctuating, changing group of people, but it's a basis application process. We have a committee run by our board that looks through our applicants, anyone who's interested in being represented by a gallery who. I know for myself, I felt as though I would almost be laughed at going to these big name New York galleries, just fresh out of art school, incredibly passionate, but without the rep sheet. And I think Hera's a really wonderful spot for many of these emerging artists to get their footing.
So have you had your work showed there as well?
I have. So I actually had approached Hera initially as an artist wanting to show my artwork and found that this director's position was available. It was just sort of serendipitous, and I sort of told everyone to halt and put the artist application on the side for a moment and focus full time on being their new director. But back last October, I decided I'd gotten a handle and on the director's position, and I really wanted to focus on showing my own work. I graduated in painting, and I do printmaking and some installation work, and have recently been doing a lot of work with recycled materials, trying to create a more sustainable studio practice for myself. And my most recent sort of project is collecting straws and actually Providence Journal plastic bags, because they are already post-consumer recycled and are a variety of colors, which I love. And I am weaving them tapestry-like esque into these sort of huge paintings of recycled materials.
Interesting.
And so I had my first show back in March, and I'm continuing to show there with Hera.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about some of the other upcoming installations at Hera.
Yeah, so one that actually just opened last Wednesday on the 4th is a show that's actually up here in Providence at Brown University, an initiative that Hera's doing. The Hera Arts and Health group partnered with the Alpert Medical School of Brown University, and so we have a show that'll be there from September until the end of November it's called Our Voice, Our Choice, and it is exploring women's health and reproductive rights. And so that is a range of 10 female artists, all Hera members, many of them board members as well, who are exploring everything from mental health to aging to the system of healthcare. So that's a really fantastic show that's right here in the city. Back at the gallery, we just had a show open this past week. Two of our full-time artists, Jocelyn Foy and Jason Smith, are going to be holding their opening reception actually this Saturday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. That is the 8th, September 8th. And Jason is doing really fantastic work about different indigenous cultures. He's studied 7 different cultures throughout sort of the history of time and has picked out these ones that really symbolize something special to him. And then Jocelyn is working with a really wonderful conceptual piece where she's speaking a lot about the line between political, personal, state, and church, how that separation is starting to sort of become grayed. And so she's got some really wonderful installations, these big chandeliers that she's handmade. So that'll be a really, really cool opening.
Sounds fascinating, and all of these are these really huge, broad topics. It's very interesting to talk about breaking them down through art, especially you're talking about healthcare. A lot of times you wouldn't think there'd be much of an intersection between health and art. It almost seems like they're on opposite spectrums, but
yeah.
it could be interesting to see how different people approach it and understand it.
Absolutely, and I think that's something that Hera's done really well with is sort of merging these controversial topics, whether it be, science or healthcare or women's rights. We can do artwork about social topics, political topics, anything that's really contemporary. And art, I find, has been a really wonderful platform for people to communicate and to have a dialogue about potentially uncomfortable topics. And I think more and more they're seeing the line between science and art and the medical and art. Yeah, it's exciting.
It is, yeah. It's a great way to start these really important conversations, especially here in Rhode Island. We have such a great art scene. We have so many great schools, and it's so interesting to see all of this talent brought together.
Yeah, it really is, and it's been fun for me in the position that I am working in as their director to get to see, every month we do a new show. I get to meet these artists and hear their stories while we install the artwork, and that's been a real luxury just of the position there at Hera itself, getting to meet and talk with the community.
That's great. And so if the public would like to come visit? When can we come see?
So we are open Wednesday through Friday from 1 to 5, and then Saturdays 10 to 4, and we do by appointment as well. So if for some reason those hours don't work, you can always contact us. Our website is heragallery.org. We also have a Facebook page and an Instagram, and so we're always updating with events, artist talks, showings, and so that's a real good way to stay linked. We also have our newsletter, which is on our website as well. You can put your email in and get all of our monthly updates.
Fantastic. And you did say you were located in Wakefield. What's the address?
We are 10 High Street. Right in downtown.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming and joining us today to talk about all of the great, really interesting local art. We can never say enough about local artists. There's always something new, something different to talk about.
Thank you so much for having me.
We really appreciate it. Sarah Swift, she's the director of Hera Gallery down in Wakefield. It is the 5th oldest women's founded art location.
Art cooperative,
Art
yes.
cooperative. So
Still today.
Absolutely fascinating right here in Rhode Island. You can go check it out, and you can find out more information on their website as well. And we'll be right back right here in the Navigate Credit Union Broadcast Center with our last guest of the hour.